Hey there. So today what I wanted to do was just kind of show you what I've been working on here. So I have the editor of this massive multiplayer online 2D game open, and you can see in here that I have 4 areas built. Now, I don't know if you can see the line crossing between the two, but it's 4 areas, and each one of these areas is 32 by 26 in size, and each one of those is made up from a tile set that I built. And you can actually see here where it's kind of a bit tight, and I didn't round the corner because it came close to the edge there. However, this is just the starting area for the doodle characters. There's a male and a female doodle, and they are, if I go to game editors and I open up my class editor, oh, it doesn't actually show the picture of the ranger. It's supposed to show it. Male, doodle male 64. There we go. So there's an orange one for the doodle. Save. Game editor, class editor, and then we'll go to, I don't know why it's not showing it. Keeps defaulting out. There's the female. Doodle underscore 64. Male. Doodle male. There it is. I guess it just wasn't showing it. So the male's orange and the female's cream. So just to differentiate, I don't have a sprite. I'm just using the base model sprite right now. I will work on that and get my motions and everything done. And all this will need to be adjusted when I'm actually doing more than just designing land. But anyway, I'll just close that down. So that's the first character race. There'll be humans, and there'll be a third one probably. Maybe even a fourth as I get to it. But for each race you build and each template you have to do different. If you're going to have them look differently, there's a lot of work that goes into building those sprite sheets and character cycles. So I'm just using the base one as a placeholder. It shows me the size, shows me how things look when they interact, and it shows me what how I'm laying out my land and how it scrolls together. So what I've got here is, I'll go back to my map editor there. So I've laid out my maps, and I've done some areas. I've messed up a little bit here getting my fringe right. And what it is that with the program that I'm using to make my graphics, my fringe, you can see the tile there's some tile there, and it's not an alpha. There's a rule in order to use this software. There has to be, the terrain has to exist, so I can't delete the terrain and clean that up and make it just a transparent PNG. So I kind of have to work within those limitations, and I'm gonna, as I get a little bit better and do more areas and stuff. So I'm starting with a small area for the start areas. Then what I could do is I could just play around with trying to mask that fringe with other things. Maybe some trees or that chimney. Like I'm gonna make another chimney that looks very similar to that and mask it in. Just that little bit of it. Things like that, and then I can work there to fix those up. But for right now, my fringe area is kind of a mess here for my character to walk over. But over here you can see the that's a bamboo tile set. But let's go here to I'll just show you my trees. No shadow. These are the trees I'm using. You can see them here. So they're just an alpha layer, and because I'm making my own trees, I'm using a couple of other isometric packs and things that I can do that. I can render these out and have them PNG and work just fine like this. So that's not a problem there. It's just for my land terrain kit. So I'll show you that map, Island 1. So here's that map, everything that's on there. But I have a better picture of that to show you. I'm going to show you it when I was building it. So here is the actual tile set that I made. And you can see, if I minimize that back down again, that this doesn't look exactly like that tile set. I made land out of this, and I can make much more, etc., because you want to use a tile set so you can use these shapes over and over again. That being said, come back to here, and what you can see is that in the editor, I took a bit of time. I did two versions. I did this version and then a version in the game engine that doesn't have this grid on it. And the reason I had this grid on it was because I wanted to line this up perfectly so that I knew that 4 32 by 32s would fit in here. So these are 64 by 64, these grids. And that allows me to line up things like the door size, the dock size, how big the bushes are. You can actually get a good, keep your scale consistent by doing that. So by using a 64 by 64 grid, I can make, I know what I've got to do in places, right? So like for these grass clumps, 1 for each square. So then if I come back in here and I scroll down to that grass clump, and I select it, you can see I got a grass clump. I got a grass clump, right? And then this one's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back up to my, see, there's 4, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 32 by 32, 64 by 64. So that's my tile set that I used. The one thing I wish I'd done is I'd made some more rounded corners. I could have done that in this space here. I probably will add that in, resave and replace the tile set. Just so that I've got some better rounded corners, because when I came in to make my land here, I found that, yeah, I had a lot of stuff I could work with, but there were areas like these where I would have rather rounded outward than inward. A few things like that. Oh, just remember that in future tile sets moving forward. This one is only for this start island and maybe some smaller islands if we get to it. The doodles will probably island hop or something. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. I just wanted a nice little isolated starting area. So the idea is basically going to be, there's going to be a shed down here. Over here, there's going to be some plants, some that she's got to go and harvest. And then when she harvests the plants, she'll bring them back into the shed, process them, learn her basic crafting. And then she'll be able to go to the house, and from the house she'll be able to interact with somebody, and then from there she'll get quests to leave the island and go somewhere. Something will happen, or he, whichever player character, but I set up my dog Jenny, of course. And then you'll go to the dock. I'll have to get some more tile set items, and I'll place some stairs or something here, or a board ramp or something, or some PNG ones so I can put them over top. And then she'll hit here, there'll be an event that takes her off into another area. But anyway, so I wanted to set that all up, and now I'm just going to minimize this editor, and I'm just going to run the client here so you can see that in action, and see the very beginnings. There's my Jenny, level 1 Doodle Ranger. Use. And you can see me wander around here now. You can see how when I come here, disappear into the trees, into the fringe. I haven't blocked off the ocean yet. I'm probably going to change that to fringe, those branches there, because they're pretty high up. Here I just walk in front of the bushes and the grass, because they're all just part of the terrain. There's the house. Walk behind the tree. That one I got the fringe set up right on. The house is blocked off, so you can walk to the door, but you can't walk anywhere else. Got it all blocked. Yeah, I'll show you the fringe issue I was talking about. So I come up here. There, I can walk through the house, but see how when I walk out, there's certain, I'm behind it there, but I'm not behind it there. So I'm having issues with the fringe there because I need the grass to be viewable, and yet at the same time, yeah. So anyway, having an issue with that, but that's not a major deal breaker. There's no reason in this level. You just design the level, so you don't have to go back there. And I'll block it all off and everything. Then there will be the shed down here. And you can see, as I walk between, the areas all seamlessly transition. There's that corner. I wish it had been a little bit more like that. I got my ocean tiling out there. There's my dock. I'll have the gangplank walking up there, and then she'll walk over here. Boom. With that being said, so that's the beginning starting area. Now it just needs some flushing out, and we'll go from there. But you can see the ground, the ocean, everything tiles out pretty good. I've got a pretty nice isometric tile set going on here. And if I walk her up to the door here, you can see she's just the right size for the door. And that's where those grids come in handy again, because in those grids you can see that it's 64 tall, so that's like perfect for a door size. So I can use that consistently now moving forward, making more tile sets and maps, so that all my buildings have more or less the same size doors in them. And that way everything can be consistent throughout the whole game, and you don't get this wonky looking mismatch of things happening. So yeah, that's basically just what I wanted to show you there. And just again in the editor, as she moves between the two, you can see it's just below the grass here, the line, and you can see it's right on this corner of the line. And what the editor does is it loads the 9. If I'm in this area, it'll load this area plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 9 total is what it's going to. Oh, I missed a little chunk down here. I got to fill that in. That's in, and I'll show you how that transition works here. She's walking. You don't even see it because it loads those 9 into memory. So if I came down here and say this went off into another area, it would load those and it would get rid of that top one because it's only going to load 9. Well, I don't, yeah. It would load me into, I don't have enough here. Let's say there was another map, then when I went to the next map below that, then this one would clear out of memory. So, yeah, it's 3, it loads the 9 around, right? So it loads all these ones. So then if I move down here, it would load these ones. But if I move to one lower, it would load the one below that up in this one, and this one would clear from memory. And this one would clear from memory, etc., etc. So it's a pretty efficient way of keeping things scaled up and working. But anyway, that's all I really wanted to show you today. Just starting to get the levels and areas together, and I'll start working on some game logic after I get this whole starting area together. And it might even, yeah, I don't know, I'll make another island area that you can go to for maybe go hunting or something, or fishing, or I'll figure something out. But for now, I just wanted to get started on this and get some things set up and working. And again, like I said, I'm just going to use the characters as a placeholder for now, and I'll make my own later from 3D models rendered out and then edited in AS Sprite. So there you go. Have a great day. See you in the next one.